This episode is supported by Battlefilm.com.
Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com. Anime cyberpunk style meets skirmish combat in Infinity. Experience 8 high-tech factions and fight to control the human sphere at the Infinity Hub on beastsofwar.com.
We're back! The hobby weekend is over. I have survived!
Is it finished?
Yes! It was a great weekend, but let's get back to doing the Weekender and keep you guys up to date on what's been going on.
Alright, no, hang on. You've had a week now. Did you finish your army yet?
Shh!
Alright, we'll talk about that tomorrow morning on the XLBS. I'll twist his arm off camera for you guys.
I've got an idea.
Oh.
Photographs, Photoshop, big army.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Speaking
of the weekend,
yeah,
we had fantastic prizes up for grabs during that hobby weekend.
we did.
Ooh, those Army Painter box sets are pretty sweet.
Yes,
and we have
so-
3 of them to give away.
3 of them, one for each day of the boot camp, so people had to comment on every day.
Yeah.
But I have to say, guys, that was a fantastic response from the community. You know,
Absolutely.
thousands of comments, absolutely brilliant. Really, really loved some of the feedback I was seeing.
It was
through
a
the
smashing weekend. We even had Ben over.
Oh, yeah, we had
Even
Ben
though nobody recognised who the heck Ben was.
Guys, do I really still need this? Yeah?
Yes, you'd look weird without it.
Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it
Ben,
was one of those things like...
You just
even
can't
then-
escape the TV, can you?
No, I just can't escape it. Whatever happens, I always have to have that bloody thing with me, I think. So, yeah.
Ah, well, you
My
know.
little box.
It frames you. It makes you look impressive.
Gives you that Games Master head appearance.
Yeah,
I like
especially
it, I
when you
like it,
reach
yeah.
through like that. Anyway, prizes,
Prizes.
Justin. Who are our 3 winners?
Okay, so let me get my prize voice on. So
Dun, dun,
on the
dun, dun.
Friday, the winner of the 50 paint Army Painter Mega Paint set
Yeah.
is DSR Richer.
Ooh.
Congratulations, mate. Get that jammy dance on the go. Next up for the Saturday, we had Meow Mix. Meow Mix. Spelled in leaked for some damn reason. Why, you monster. And for the Sunday, we had MBD Eyes. So, MBD Eyes? See MBD Eyes?
MBD eyes.
MBD Eyes. See my eyes? See MBD Eyes?
MBD eyes. Amazing.
Congratulations, guys. Those will be winging their way to you as quickly as possible. Make sure and get your prize claims in on beastsofwar.com. There's a drop down in the top right corner of the website that says contact us. In there, there's a little form. Fill that out. Give us all your details. We'll get it to the Army Painter guys, and you will get your paints ASAP.
Yeah, and we're going to have a chat to the Army Painter guys about the weekend
Oh, yeah.
in a moment. But before we move off prizes, we have our Drowned Earth starter set to give away as well.
Ah, yes. So, if you guys have watched the Drowned Earth interview that I did, I think it was not last weekend, but the one before, we were actually giving away a starter set. And our winner is Hendai. So, Hendie. Hendai.
Again, congratulations, jammy dancing time.
Yeah.
Get your wee claim in.
Yep.
Click the nav. Go to the contacts. Claim your prize. I'm feeling a little strange.
Yeah. I'm sensing the waves of strangeness. Have you been reading the Necronomicon again?
I think, because I've been painting undead, like, constantly. It's
Lord
just
of
been
Bones.
up here. Yeah, that Lord of Bones comic.
Yeah.
I love my wee feet. Have you seen my wee feet? I don't know how I stopped them getting frostbitten,
Oh, yeah.
but they're deadly cute.
Yeah, that was a fantastic one from Caesar. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we actually have a comic strip that goes out once or twice a week where one of our community members, the fabulous Caesar, has been doing some beautiful comedy pieces of the entire team
Yeah,
here.
but you need to watch the shows, otherwise there'll be total in-jokes and you just will not get them.
That's why I love it, though. It's such in-jokes that he does. You know, they're so ingrained into it. They just work.
And I'm such a...
I think my
What's
favorite
my
one-
attitude of my character? He's really, like,
Evil?
evil, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, there was that one for A Song of Ice and Fire. I am saying it right.
Yeah.
Where it was just, in the Game of Thrones, you either win or you're not Lloyd, with both myself and Ben dead beside you.
Ah, well, you know, anything to win. Right, Justin, it's time to sit down with the guys. after
Yes.
the boot camp and see what they thought of it.
Yeah, to actually find out just how they've enjoyed seeing people learning the techniques. So, guys, it's myself, BoW, and Mads actually sitting down for a chat, so we'll take a quick hub break and we'll be right back.
Twisted aliens and demented cultists battle across the devastating science fiction world of Dark Age. Muster your forces and learn to survive at beastsofwar.com. Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game.
Alright, everybody, I've been joined by Army Painter in the studio. So, last weekend you will have seen that we had the Army Painter Hobby Weekend Bootcamp. It's gone fantastically. We are actually currently still at the bootcamp, but I wanted to get the guys sat down to actually chat to them about how they think people have got on this weekend learning the Army Painter techniques. So, guys, what have you thought?
It's been really great. I mean, we hadn't really thought that so many people would get an army done, because it's sort of getting it down to a T where you're actually getting stuff done. I mean, but we've seen a lot of really different armies and actually a lot finished.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the way you guys have went about it is everybody was allowed to pick color primers to actually get the bases down on their miniatures, and you actually were changing up the colors between the big beastie, the infantry, and the hero. Now, why were you doing that?
Combining different color primers is all about saving time as well, like most of the technique is. And by having a monster in one color and having the infantry in another, and then just painting on those colors, you'll have a centerpiece, you'll have a coherent army looking, and you'll save a lot of time. What it's all about.
Well, I mean, like, one of the things I have here is something you guys were trying to show everybody, was essentially 4 stages that you want to do for the Army Painter method, and then a 5th stage where if you really want to go over and above.
Tournament, masterclass kind of thing, yeah.
Essentially, yeah. So here we have it here. So you can see the guys have marked it all out, and starting here you've got your base color primer, I assume skeleton bone.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
You then block out your colors. You're then getting your quick shade down, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then is this with the...
That's basing
anti-shine?
and anti-shine, yeah.
Right.
I usually stop at this stage and just saying, if you can paint like that,
Like this?
like this one, yeah, number 2, that's all you need to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
The techniques and the products will do the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, like, as soon as that dip goes down, you can see all of the details are being brought out. And then whenever you've actually got the anti-shine down on it, it just makes it look really nice.
It
But
does.
the final extra step is just if you want to take your stuff that little bit further.
Yeah, and it's just one highlight. It's
Just one highlight?
seriously one highlight, yeah.
Wow.
You take one color, the color that's one step, brighter,
Mm-hmm.
and just apply it. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, some of the stuff you guys have been doing, I've got a couple of the Carrion Lancers here, and they have turned out fantastically with the method. So I assume you've primed in 2 different colors here, yeah?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So for this one, what did you prime in?
That was Barbarian Flesh.
yeah.
So this one was Barbarian Flesh?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this one?
Skeleton Bone.
Skeleton Bone.
Yeah.
And you really do see that real change in the tone whenever you're actually priming just with a different color. That main block color just really changes the actual tone and feel and flavor of the
Oh, it
miniature.
does, absolutely. I mean, this one is the standard method. This is from step 4, and this one is then masterclassed with one highlight on. And it makes a
Yeah, well,
huge...
There is your difference on a big miniature then, guys. You can just see those extra little details that are popping out with that one extra highlight. It really, really sets them off.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, even without the highlight, you're still getting a high quality mini.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just playing at your local gaming club, then then that's all you need.
Or if you're going to a tournament, you need that 3 color minimum army. It's gonna get you there, you know,
Yep.
and it's fantastic. Like, one of my favorites that you guys brought along is actually the Rune Golem you did.
Mine too.
This guy just looks fantastic. Check this out, guys.
He's a beast.
So this actually looks like a big sandstone golem, as if he's been dragged out of the desert, which is just really cool. What did you prime this one in?
That was Desert Yellow.
Yeah.
And strong tone, quick shade, and nothing else apart from the base colors. There's no highlights, no nothing, just a dip.
It just looks so good like that.
Yeah.
And did you do the proper dip and flick on this guy, or
no.
was he painted?
No, I think the cans can only take infantry, to be honest. Whoa.
Hey! Good morning.
I'm still here.
And this one here, Jonas keeps arguing, is a 10-minute paint job.
This is a 10-minute. Oh,
It's
okay,
only
guys.
silver and green. That's it.
Okay, guys, 10-minute paint job right here. Look at this thing. If you get that done and get it down on the table, you know your mates are going to look at you and go, "Holy crap! How did you do that?"
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we've got a few more bits to show here. So we've got some of the regular spearmen for the infantry. And once you actually have them all down, and like you said, it's that coherency. The unit actually feels like a military unit, which is what I really like about this. Because it's nice doing the big centerpiece miniatures, but whenever it's a mass battle army, you want that coherency.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what you're really getting with this.
And returning to the color primers, you see this one here, if you see them next to each other, this one here was actually, the spearmen were primed with metal, plate mail metal, because that's the majority of the body is metal. That, you know, you always prime with the majority. And that one is
because all your
yellow.
colors match in.
Yeah, it looks completely coherent.
Yeah, that's fantastic. The next one we have is actually for the skeleton faction. I can't remember their name. I apologize.
The Vicar.
Ah, I see. But hang on, this isn't one of the standard guys.
No, this is one of the expansions. This is
Aha.
the command group.
I
Well,
see.
one of the
One of
command
them.
group.
You have a drummer, you have a champion, and you have a stand-up bearer, and they each get special rules to
Nice.
the units.
Yeah.
As upgrades.
Mm-hmm. You see, this is the thing as well. I think a lot of people haven't really realized about RuneWars just yet, is that there is going to be such a tactical depth to it once you start adding in these extra bits and start customizing your forces. You know, getting unit commanders in there, getting different heroes in there, getting expanded units in there. I think it's going to be great.
It's awesome.
It's a super simple game to get into, but it has a lot of depth once you've actually understood the mechanics.
Yeah, I think I learned the game in 10 minutes, but then being completely baffled by the possibilities in that game, you know, that was great.
Well, I mean, like I did see you and Jonas playing a game here at the weekend.
Yes,
and,
we did.
I mean, like,
we don't play for fun.
No,
Against each other.
This is the thing. We had a friend of ours, Azrael, in from Estevium to actually teach everybody how to play on the Saturday, and he looked at you guys and went, "It's like watching a pair of chess masters going at each other. This is hammer and tongs. They're not holding back."
No.
But it's nice to have the fact that you can do that as well. You know, it's a game where you can play light and friendly, or you can just, you know, break out the 9-inch nails and punch someone in the face.
Exactly.
The thing is, where you have other competitive games, you don't need 200 printed pages of frequently asked questions, because it's made for tournament almost. You're feeling it, and that's why when you move, you don't move by free hand. You move by these counters and stuff. So it's all in the game. It's brilliantly designed, I must admit.
Yeah, and I look at it and I think it's manageable with the Army Painter system. Because normally I look at, say, a big massed army where I'm going to have maybe 200 models to paint.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I go, whoa, this is going to take a bit. But seeing everybody this weekend, I would say using the methods that you've been showing off this weekend, 200 model army, that's easy.
Yeah, it is. It's
You know,
just
it is.
repetition, stamina. you
Yeah.
know. It's
Well,
what it is.
I'm young, I have stamina. We have one more unit to show off here, which is the actual archers now. I'm a little disappointed in these. I wanted these guys to have a purple hood and be Skeletor.
I can see that.
Oh, that skull guy on the motorcycle, just paint them up yellow.
Yeah, and what color did these get primed? Because I'm seeing a lot of color variation.
Yeah, I believe these ones were actually primed with alien purple,
Ah!
because it's the majority of the skeletons.
Now, is that what you normally do whenever you're coming to actually spray the stuff, is say, what is my majority color here?
Exactly. Once you're doing skeletons, you'll automatically go for skeleton bone.
Yeah.
But what you really have to do is think about what's going to be your main color, instead of just going for skeleton for skeletons.
Sometimes you look at as well what's the most difficult to paint, and then you spray to that color.
So if I know I'm going to have lots of red down on it, but it's not the majority color, but I know red over blue is going to be a real pain.
Yeah.
I'll spray red and then do the blue.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, see, so that's something that I'll need looked at and discussed in the future, I think, guys. Is just what colors work best over what.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
I mean, our website has lots of examples for all the color primers, all the special dips, what they look like combined and stuff. So it was a good port of call just to go there first and then say, okay, I've got this army now. I imagine it to be red-ish with stuff. Go in and just click on the red color primer and then see all the galleries and go, yeah, no, I don't like that. Yes, this is cool, and get some inspiration from it. Yeah.
Or bring your miniatures into the store and you got the big rack where every color is.
Yeah. You see, this is the thing. I mean, like, seeing the expansion to your ranges now, I know we did a Skype interview a while back, but I want to draw us back to it. It's fantastic to see all of those different tones between. You don't have to sit and mix and mix and mix. You just have it. And that just makes life so much easier.
It does indeed.
That, and you're doing some of your effect paints now, which I really, really want to have a play with in the future. So you've got the wet mud, slime, the blood effect.
Rust, dry rust.
Yes, I really want to see how the rust turns out, because that's one thing I've been doing recently, is I've been looking at maybe adding a little more weathering to my miniatures.
Yeah, of course.
But knowing where to start with it. You know, having something like that, it's that brainless moment of just going, oh, well, it's rust. I can do rust. I can do rust now.
Do you have a lot of brainless moments?
Community, you can answer this one. You do keep an eye on the comments. They'll just be yes, he does all the goddamn time. But no, it's been absolutely fantastic having you guys in here this weekend. Thanks
for
so
having
much
us.
for
It's been a blast. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd love to come again.
Everybody that has been here has absolutely loved learning to paint with you guys. I have seen comment after comment on the site going, oh my god, I wish I came. So definitely, guys, I really want to do this again with you guys.
Absolutely.
Don't know when or where or how. We will try and do this again, everybody.
We'll be there.
Right, well, thank you very much for coming in, gents.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, yeah.
Guys, get your comments in below. Has the boot camps or the hobby weekend inspired you to actually jump in and actually start building full forces, painting full forces to actually get your hobby underway and get your armies looking beautiful on the tabletop? Because that is the real key with the Army Painter system. It is made to make your miniatures be painted fast and still look fantastic at the end of the day, which is why you formulate it the way you do. It's why you do the colour range you do. And, well, get your comments in. Let us know. We'll see you soon.
That's why the slogan is get more time for gaming.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Guys, get more time for gaming. So that is what BoW and Mads think about what people have been learning. It's been really impressive to actually see people go through those stages.
Yeah.
The 4 initial steps to bring you up to that tabletop ready, and then that one additional step just really makes stuff pop.
Yeah.
And all the effect paints and stuff are just really, really cool. I have to get an experiment set myself down with some minis and experiment with those effect paints that we were talking about. Because you've got really nice blood effect, you've got like a slime effect, you've got a wet mud effect, and you've got that mixing medium to actually go into the washes to actually make them sit a little different.
Ooh, I need to
Very
get my
cool stuff.
hands on these things.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a set. Ben, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really a fantastic weekend. It was great to learn some of the techniques from the Army Painter guys. Plenty of times where I got told off by Jonas and then congratulated by Jonas for using some of their techniques and things. So yeah, it was interesting to look at things from a very much a sort of painting en masse method and stuff. So yeah, very good.
The one piece of advice that I kept seeing the Army Painters guy give out the entire weekend.
Yeah.
No, you're using a too small a brush. Use a bigger brush. Use a bigger brush, for the love of God.
Yeah, and then when he wasn't looking, I sneaked in a really small brush.
What, did you break out the 3-0?
And then my painting speed slowed to a crawl.
But it was incredible how quickly some people were getting through their stuff. I saw people getting both forces done over the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was madness just seeing them stick to that method. that was the real key to it. Like one of them, Laura.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about how fast everyone was?
No, but the only reason she got her stuff done, and I was talking to her after the fact, was the Army Painter guy said, yeah, there's no way you could get 2 of these done in a weekend. That a fact. You know, that it was just that challenge just spurred her on to get the entire thing done.
Watch me.
Yeah, just watch me do
dude.
it. I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to smile, I'm not going to laugh, I'm just going to paint this up and make it pretty.
She was working those figures.
Oh my God, it was crazy. But there were some beautiful schemes that turned up as well over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely stonkers.
one of the other big things for the Army Painter techniques that came out is pick the right primer for what you're painting over it. So I saw some people, they took a nice dark blue, and yeah, that gives you a really nice armor shade. Then they were trying to do like a red cloth, and they were having to do 3 or 4 coats to actually get it to cover properly and smoothly. So I think that's one of the key things as well whenever you're starting to look at the Army Painter method.
Absolutely. I think we're going to probably end up talking about this in backstage
a
bit more. So if you're interested in having some more talk about the hobby weekend and what we were up to, come on over and join the backstage.
I didn't paint a thing.
We'll probably be talking about it tomorrow. You didn't paint a thing, man.
Yeah.
Your hobby time's going to be real short tomorrow.
I have no hobby time this week. I'll tell you that now.
No, you're supposed to tease people and make them think you have, and then turn around and say, I did none.
No, I'm not dishonest like that.
Oh, well, we'll see. I've been doing some hobby. Ben's doing some hobby.
Yeah.
Join us in the backstage show for that. I'm going to move us on because I want to talk about some news, Ben. I want to come to you, Ben. What's first?
Yeah, so kicking some things off here with what the Perry Miniatures guys have been doing. They've put together a new plastic Zulu British set which you can pick up. It contains 38 different models for you to make up. So they've got all the different things that the Perry Miniatures guys always shove into their sprues. So you've got all sorts of different weapon options, head options, arms, legs, whatever. Mixing in a few other bits and pieces here to start making some vignettes and stuff. So you've got wounded soldiers, a heliograph, and other types of options there too. One of the big things they talked about when it comes to this kit is that it, as well as it being sort of built for the Zulu era, they've also put in some bits and pieces so that you can actually start to do some sort of a bit more steampunky, pulpy, weird stuff as well. So if you want to try and have these guys fighting off an alien invasion, sort of H.G. Wells style, then you can sort of add that sort of side into things as well, which is pretty cool.
Stuff like what? Like
shiny.
different types of guns or weird guns or what?
They've got different style helmets and things that you can put on them that have sort of a bit more of a steampunky feel to them.
Yeah.
So it sort of gives you an interesting sort of alternative method for this plastic kit. Yeah.
Wow, you don't see that often.
Yeah,
like you could
especially
look
from
at a
the Perry
Perry's
guy.
and just think Perry's is just going to be like straight up historical.
Yeah, hardcore historical from
Yeah.
the Perrys. Seeing them actually do some steampunk stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
is
well,
this-
it's stuff that
it's weird.
that is sort of almost historically accurate, but also a little bit pulpy and weird at the same time. So it sort of crosses that gap between the two, which is pretty good. So
Ooh, cool.
Fair play to them, is all I can say.
Quite interesting, actually.
Are you intrigued?
I am intrigued. I'm intrigued having a look at the sprues and seeing what they actually look like.
We'll have to get a look at them.
Next up, we've got some Bandua stuff, Ben, coming up.
yeah, so they've been expanding upon what they call their ready for battle range. And this is a set of pre-painted terrain that you can pick up to sort of use on your tabletops. They've done a whole series of industrial sets here, which are called the Industry of Death, which is a rather apt and bloody name, I suppose.
As we see them, is how you get them then?
Yes. So
Because
the
I
way
have
that you're
seen
seeing
these
them,
terrain pieces before. The difference is they come painted now.
yeah, so they're completely pre-painted, so all you have to do is assemble them and they're ready to go on the tabletop, which is pretty awesome. So effectively, all you've got to do then is find yourself a good mat and then maybe buy 2 or 3 sets of these,
Yeah.
smash them together and you've got a really fantastic looking industrial landscape for the likes of like Necromunda, or as it's called now, Shadow War Armageddon, and maybe Warpath and stuff in the future
Yeah.
too. So,
I can see a lot of this Necromunda / sort of style terrain coming out.
Yeah.
What's it
Yeah.
called? Necromunda is now called
it's called Shadow War Armageddon is the official title from Games Workshop for this one. 'cause
Shadow
it's
War
sort of-
Armageddon.
I have to say,
Yeah, because it brings in
everybody
the other factions and stuff from the world. So yeah.
Everybody is absolutely spoilt for choice for what you can do with sort of HDF and MDF terrain these days. Actually, seeing more and more pre-painted stuff coming out is fantastic for it, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Has this got any of the sticky labels, or is that a different manufacturer?
I think that's a different manufacturer. I think that one.
I'm
But,
crossing my manufacturers.
This
They
does
look
look
like sticky
very
labels.
similar because it's got a lot of detail. That doesn't look exactly pre-painted. It's like pre-printed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what we're
I
seeing
think
here.
you're thinking there was a company that was on Kickstarter. I'm not entirely sure of the name of it, but I think that's one you're thinking about with that one. I think, Lloyd. So
Long story short, Ben, what's next?
next up, we've got some stuff from Ares Games. Now they have been adding and expanding on their Wings of Glory series, and a lot of people would know that they've been doing stuff with World War One for a long time. Now they're stepping back into the world of World War Two.
Well,
And
this range has been to World War II before.
It has a long
So
time
what's
ago.
what's
and
new here? Is this a re-release then? Is this finally get our hands on World War II again?
Yeah, so this is a proper big re-release for this, and it's based on the Battle of Britain. So you get 2 Supermarine Spitfires there with 2 Messerschmitts. So you have a pretty badass dogfight going on between these guys. You get all the rules and the booklets and the scenarios and all the sorts of counters and widgets and all sorts of different things in the set. But they've also announced that there's going to be a whole bunch of expansions too. So you've got more Spitfires, more Messerschmitts. There's the Hurricane that everybody loves. And also there's the Junkers as well. So you've got some fantastic stuff to look forward to if you like World War II dogfighting on the tabletop.
We were just playing Wings of Glory about 2 weeks ago.
2-3
I
weeks.
think it was the weekend. It was the Sunday gaming before the boot camp. Not,
Right, okay.
No, it was
not-
the one before that.
yeah,
About
there was
3
the week.
weekends back.
Well, about 3 weeks ago, we were playing
Yeah.
Wings of Glory on the Sunday. It was
Yeah.
the World War One edition.
Yeah, I came
Right,
in
yeah.
a little late, picked up something that was already in the air, and died within about two moves. Just like, oh, cool, I'm controlling a plane. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. And you're in the dirt.
Yes. Was it Lee? Lee kicked all our butts.
No, it wasn't a free-for-all. It was me and Lee versus you and Adam, if you remember.
I must have lost then.
Yeah, so it ended with Lee on his own against you two guys and him beating you.
Yeah, so Lee kicked ass, just like
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah, not all of our asses.
He got all biggles on us. Ugh. Kicked us.
Yeah.
Kicked us to the curb. Let's see. Let's move on. Black Sun Miniatures has some really cool looking stuff coming
What
up
the
there.
hell is this?
Oh, this is
Yeah.
sweet.
This is
Yeah,
cool.
so the guys from Black Sun have been doing a whole different selection of miniatures over the last couple of months.
He-Man.
Yeah, effectively, this is their take, their sword and sorcery high fantasy take on He-Man and She-Ra, if you remember them from Masters of the Universe. So you've got the Savage Beauty here with her beast, and also Rozok the Barbarian. But as you say, it's effectively He-Man and She-Ra, but they look very, very, very cool indeed. And these are both in 75mm, so these are going to be a big, huge painting project for somebody to get stuck into. But once they're done, you've got some pretty awesome stuff to sort of have on the mantelpiece effectively, sort of showing off your allegiance to the Masters of the Universe. universe, I guess.
You
So,
can
yeah.
sit in your living room shouting,
I have the power.
Exactly.
"Oh,
Yeah, you got to just go.
magnificent painting!"
You got to go
Of a
and find.
3-0 brush.
Yeah, you got to go and find their version of Skeletor or something as well to try and put in there. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah.
That would be cool if they did like a Skeletor, because then
Yeah.
I'd get him to be the leader of my undead army. Just a massive skeleton. He's gonna kick your ass.
That sounds a bit like overkill.
Skelly disaster. Maybe a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, that's
Very cool stuff, though.
news.
Yeah.
Now, an interesting thing coming up.
Yes.
We're going to get Warren in the studio. He's going to take over the studio, as he does.
Yep.
We're going to talk about the Beast of War Gaming Awards and what the heck we've been up to, because we've been very silent about it.
Yep.
Let's see what he had to say.
Alright, buddy, we are back. Warren has joined us in the studio because we have some exciting news for everybody.
Yes.
So, Warren, what are you in for?
I was going to start by saying it's that time of year again, but we've been shifting the time of year. We are, of course, as you know, talking about the annual awards. So we're in our third annual awards. We have delayed it in towards the middle part of the year. So first thing I wanted to talk about was that, because people, after we got into the new year, last year it was about March, people were, well, where is it? Where is it? Well, we delayed it. The reason being is because possibly next year, we might actually be running it as a real life event.
Yeah.
Okay, so one where people will be able to come along to and companies will be able to come along.
So are we going to actually do the Oscars thing?
Possibly.
Ooh.
Very, very
Tentatively.
possibly. Tentatively.
And
I mean, highly tentatively.
and when he says a real event, he doesn't mean like a live event. It means like just a live in-person event.
Yeah, but it would be a live in-person event that would be live streamed.
Yes, but it may not be live streamed the first year.
It may not even be done the first year. The thing is, we don't know. But in order for us to be able to potentially do it, we needed to shift the time of year of it, okay, into it taking place in that May slot, okay? We will know better over the course of this year whether that's going to happen or not. But in order for us to even test the possibility of it, we had to start shifting it. Okay. The other reason we shifted it was in previous years it was actually running from November to November as the voting thing. We now can do it as full.
Do you mean to say November to November?
Yes, it was running from. So last
November
year's
to December, I think you mean.
No, last year's awards.
Oh,
okay?
you mean the entries?
Yeah, the entries ran from a November period through to the next November.
Yes.
We now have it covering the full calendar year.
So we can very simply go, last year's, what did you like?
So the third annual Gaming Awards, as voted by you guys, will be taking place over the course of the next 6 to 8 weeks. Okay.
Right.
So what we're doing is today, the nominations are now up, or the ability to nominate. So get your nominations in. Our categories are Best Board Game of 2016, Best Card Game, Best Miniatures Game, Best Role Playing Game, Best Board Game Expansion, Best Card Game Expansion, Best Miniatures Game Expansion, Best Role Playing Game Expansion, Best Hobby or Gaming Accessory, Best Terrain Product, Best Gaming Artwork, Best Sculpt, and Best Paint Job. So we have expanded the categories to try and make it easier for us to fit the appropriate games into the appropriate places. Okay.
I'm giggling because you went fit, but obviously the show is going to get a little bit bigger now.
Oh, the show is going to get bigger. I love the awards because it's a great way to look back at the previous year, and you discover stuff that you've maybe forgotten about or maybe didn't even see going past you during the course of the year. So it's great. We are also doing the mystery box. So by going in, you click on the link and you can go through and make a nomination. In the nominations page, all of the categories are there on the one page. You don't have to fill them all in. Just fill in the ones that you want to be able to nominate something for, okay? Pop in your email address, and then you'll be entered into a prize draw for the mystery box.
Cool.
And as always, the mystery box is a mystery box because we don't want to influence the voting by naming any particular company or any particular product. So
I will say,
it is a box of
you go.
goodies.
there's a lot of the companies now actually seem to take a great deal of pride in having won our annual gaming award.
Yes,
they
because
always
it's
have the thing
their
up on their website.
It's because it's their annual gaming awards.
Yeah.
These awards go out to the public vote. We get tens of thousands of votes across the whole thing. So it really is down to the stuff that you guys like. So to make the awards bigger and better, why not reach out to the companies who you want to nominate, let them know about the awards as well, and then they can put that out on their social media and other people can do the nominations as well. So over the course of the next 2 weeks, we're going to be gathering up all of the nominations. Then during a week, those nominations will be distilled down into our finalists lists, and there's normally about there's normally about 10 finalists or so per category.
Yeah.
Then we go to the public vote, where that all gets whittled down into our absolute kind of grand finalists. And then the winners.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the whole process is going to take about 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll be doing a live weekend, a live blogged weekend, where we'll be going in detail on the categories and then announcing the winners and just generally having some fun dressed like penguins. So
when you say live blog weekend, what are we talking about? One evening,
similar to last year. Okay, similar to last year. We will be live blogging over the course of a couple of days, where we'll be going into detail in each of the categories, and then on the next day, announcing all of the actual winners and things like that. So,
Can I make one request?
yes,
Better bubbly.
better bubbly.
Bubbly.
I don't know if the budget. I don't know if the budget.
The last year's
can
one.
stretch that.
Oh man, that did a number on me.
No, you don't want better bubbly if you're going to be in here for days.
Yeah, no. We want softer bubbly. So but it's great. It's a great weekend. You'd be very welcome to join us. We've got some interesting things planned that we're going to be trying to do, and the shift in timescale, as I've said, has made it possible for us to look at the possibility of it becoming an actual real life physical event for the 4th annual Gaming Awards, which take place in 2018.
That could be really interesting to actually see it make that leap to a live event.
Well, we'll see. We will see. It's still highly tentative. These awards ceremonies are incredibly costly to do. So we do not know. But the only way for
costly.
The only way for us to be able to find out was to start to shift it to at least explore it. Okay.
Even if that didn't happen, shifting it, as Warren said, allows us to be able to simply say, vote much like last year. There's no, but this came out in the last few weeks of the year.
Yeah.
And it also moves away from Christmas, gives people time to enjoy it and stuff, because everyone's flat out at Christmas. We're flat out at Christmas.
Eligibility wise, whenever you click through on the link to go through to make your nominations, the eligibility criteria is all listed in there, so you can get a more clear picture on what would be eligible and what wouldn't be eligible. And then we'll collate all the data. We'll look for the patterns in it to see what are getting the most nominations. Does it fit the eligibility criteria? And then we'll build up the actual short lists from that.
Ben, you're looking forward to the awards, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going to be good fun. I'm really interested to see what people are going to be picking for the likes of the board games and card games side of things, because we had a massive year last year for 2016. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what people pick up, especially on the expansion side of things as well, because we had a lot of games that were getting extra stuff too. So yeah, looking forward to it.
It's all good. So definitely. Click them links. We're going to be pushing it now over the next couple of weeks. So click away on those links, and like I said, please feel free to share it around on your social networks. Share it with the companies who you feel should be getting an award, so as that they can go on and share it. Feel free to post it around forums, but please always make sure that you're okay. I don't want spamming other forums and things like that with it.
So just keep it appropriate.
So just double check that it's okay to mention the awards and things like that if you do us the favor of helping us spread the word of it. The great thing about it is it is an open public vote. So the more that we can spread it around generally, the better the outcome. You start to see, especially during the nominations phase, you start to see some great little surprising things and products and suggestions coming through, and that's the bit that I love. I love the early stages of it because you get to see some really cool stuff, and we've had some surprises over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, Ben.
I'm hoping this will be no different.
A lot of exploding kittens.
Exploding kittens. Yeah. So anyway, that is your lot. Please go and get involved, and remember, pop in your email address. We'll be doing a prize draw, and one lucky person is going to get the BC4 mystery box, about 500 quid's worth of stuff.
Nice.
That is going to be winging its way to you.
Ooh, exciting times.
Yeah.
All right,
So that's it for me.
Okay.
A big thank you to everybody who's been popping up to wish me well. I'm feeling a whole lot better now. I'm well on my way. I had a kind of joint thing going on, but all been well. That's now over, and we can forge ahead. I am going to pop into the backstage show tomorrow because I want to talk to you guys about a new thing that we're hoping to do, which is called Hobby Night Live.
Another experiment?
This is another experiment, and this is specifically about an event that we do live with you guys.
All right, well, don't give them the details.
Well,
let them come across.
I'm going
and
to talk
join us
about it on backstage tomorrow, and maybe talk about my love of Vikings as well. Who knows? Right.
You're catching up then on that, are you?
Oh God, I'll tell you about it tomorrow.
All right, guys, we'll get back to the show.
So there you have it. All changed for the awards. A lot of categories coming up this year.
I'm interested to see who's going to take the top slot this year. There are always those old favourites that we always see popping up within the awards, but I'm just waiting to see some newcomers just rock in on the block and actually take the crown off some of these guys.
But that's the thing. I think we mentioned it, but that's the thing about opening it up to the public vote. You get these things that just pop out of nowhere, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I hadn't even considered that. Ben, you excited for the awards?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, one of the big things is that obviously this is set for 2016. It's not like the best of whatever. This is games that came out last year, so it's going to be fantastic to see which ones sort of pip the post to other ones and things like that. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Right, I'm going to keep us moving because we've got a lot of stuff to get through on the show.
We do.
We've actually got John on the show. He's going to get out a tool and show us what he's going to do with it. What sort of tool did he get out this week, Justin?
I'll let John speak for himself. So guys, I'll be back with John in a second. Hello everybody, you've been missing it, and we are back for another look at John's tool. Hi John.
Hello.
So what have you brought for us today?
Right, more from Green Stuff World.
Okay.
And these are really funky little things. These are little leaf punches. You make your own leaves. Go on. Sure, go on.
All right, let me get them under close camera. All right, so these little things.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put this one down. So this one's doing small leaves. You can see sort of the imprint of what you're going to be doing on the top here.
Yep.
So what? You slot your leaf in the side and punch it, and it comes out the bottom?
Yeah, you punch it, Chewy.
You punch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they just come out with the little leaf shapes now. I've been playing around with materials for this. So the first material is a real leaf.
Okay.
Because why not?
All right, well, pass it here. I'll give it a go.
Go on, give it a try.
So, right, bring this up here. All right, and get my big bear-like hands out of the way.
Yes.
So the leaf. Yep.
Goes in there.
This is the problem with real leaves.
There you go.
This is the problem with real leaves.
Awesome.
They're a little bit bendy.
Yep.
All right, what? I just start pressing through?
Just press.
All right, now you probably won't be fit to see. I'm going to go to the other camera. You can see
do
all
that.
better.
There you go.
That's better. Well, I can see I've punched out leaf-like holes.
Yeah, no, lift the thingy. There you go.
Ah.
So you
I've
get
got a little pile of leaves.
a little pile of leaves.
Suitable.
Suitable for 28mm.
It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Look at
And the best thing is if you're using like a real leaf, you could then varnish it because then it might not deteriorate as much, so it might stay green for a little longer-ish. Or you can dry them out and make them like really crunchy autumn leaves.
Yeah.
What I'd come up with was, do you remember our beautiful stuff model mates? Which is no longer model mates, it's something else, and it's like Down and Dirty or something now.
Yeah.
I just took a sheet of A4 paper and used moss green and rusty red on it, and I got this sort of colorized paper out of it.
Okay.
So that looks pretty good. So
I'll give it a try.
give it a try.
Oh, I have to really press this time.
Bit more effort, just go on. I swear that looks like a line of code now. Like an Enigma machine code.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's see how this turned out.
See what you got.
So we've got our little pile of leaves, and this actually looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's quite
If I
funky.
get some of them scattered out.
Yep.
See if we can get some of the shapes to be seen. And even whenever you're cutting over some of the other ones, it just looks like little broken leaves then.
Yeah, like little half leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought of trying to do was see if I can get. I'm going to tear another piece of this up here and see if. I want to see if this works because I was thinking about it and I was like, if this works, it'll be kind of cool too.
Well,
So
I'm going to make a few more here because I
Go
might
on.
scatter them onto something. So
I thought if I took the piece of paper and like scrumpled it up as much as I could and drop it, so I'm going to scrumple up another piece because I have more here. And the thinking was that because the dye is like water based, isn't it?
Yeah, generally.
And like the moisture off your hands and stuff makes this look more crinkly and messed up. It might actually give a bit more texture rather than just a flat piece out
Well,
of
here,
the cutter.
you have a miniature sitting there. Pass it over here. Why don't you?
Which one would you like? You're
brown
using
base.
green leaves.
I'm working on
okay.
the green, so I think the brown base will show them off quite well.
One of our
if I just-
Stormcast Eternal.
Yeah, if I just scatter it on.
Do you want to switch to a close cam and show people you actually doing that?
I just spread it out because if it's too clumpy, it won't look good.
Yeah.
If I go to the close camera now, you can actually see you've got your leaf scatter on the base.
Yeah,
That's actually not bad.
that's not bad.
It's actually getting them to spread out will be the trick.
Yeah.
You know. See, what I would be tempted to do is I would mix this in with maybe some of the actual basing material that you get from like army painter stuff. You know, the brown battlefield and stuff.
Yeah.
Mix it in with that and then scatter it on because you might
Mhm.
get it a little more even. You know, as it stands, with the size of these leaves, I'm not sure how far you could really take this,
No.
but
Here,
it's an interesting one.
try that with a really seriously
so you-
scrumpled up piece of paper.
Okay, you've had me really scrunched up piece of paper, as you
Yeah.
can see.
I want to just see if the texture is any different.
All right, so whenever this punches through,
It won't punch through anymore, will it?
actually no,
Will it not?
no, it won't.
Gimme.
No, didn't work.
Let me try. Let me try.
No, it literally will not punch. I can see where it's tried to cut, but
Yeah.
it won't.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Worth a try. Experimentation is the key.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pass me the other little base miniature you have there,
Yes.
and I'll scatter a few leaves on it.
Go for it. While I find something heavy.
So we've got another one of these, and then we just scatter a couple on. I kind of like the real leaf better, to be honest with you.
Really?
I think it looks more natural
Well,
because it's actually got the texture to it, whereas paper doesn't.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I've only sprayed this with some dye, so like you
Yeah.
could always texture it a bit more.
If I grab some of these and sprinkle a couple on, you can see they just look that little bit more realistic
Yeah.
because they are really leaf.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to everybody at home. What do you think, guys? Would you add real leaf or would you go with Johnstick? Don't do it.
What?
This looks like an awful plan to do on camera. Don't beat your till.
Hey, it worked. Sorry, Warren. It's working.
Are
There we
getting
go.
any kind of a difference?
Yeah, because they are actually more scrunched up.
How close are you really going to be looking?
Well, I was just
Because it's such a small detail.
I was just trying.
Also, I would say don't go overboard doing this.
No, don't. What you could do.
Excuse me.
What you could do is make a large batch of this, like off the real leaf, let them dry, scrunch them up a bit once they're dry, and then start
Honestly,
using
your best time for doing this is going to be autumn.
Yeah, because you will have the natural, really
Yes.
rich colours and stuff too.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, because if you can collect them from different trees, you can get those, you know, the reds, the oranges, maybe just a little bit of green, the yellows.
Yeah.
You know, but they are quite a cool idea.
They're a very funky little idea.
The other one does smaller leaves, so I
Yeah.
might quickly punch a few out of it and see how they look. Let me put this on here and put you out of the way. There we go. Ah, see this?
Yep.
This I like better for being smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So if I grab our Stormcast Eternal Base again,
Mm-hmm.
I'll wipe these and take them out of camera shot for a second onto my hand so that I can pinch and sprinkle them. Yeah, see those little ash leaves just look a little more natural than the bigger oak leaves.
Yep.
I guess it just depends the effect you really want to go for.
Yeah, well that's true, but I think it's just a nice little piece anyway. Of course you're not going to be making boxes and boxes and boxes of this stuff. You'd be sat here for ages with something that made 4 leaves a punch. But
yeah,
if you're just sat there thinking, well, maybe I do need a couple, you can just go and try it.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I mean, like for the guys out there who are really into doing their dioramas and stuff, something like this is going to be a godsend. So they're not having to go out and hunt down leaf scatter and stuff. They can actually just make their own and work with it the way they want to and get it customized the way they want to. I think that's the real key with all the stuff that's coming out of Green Stuff World. It's just wargaming your way.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my thought for it anyway, because it's just like it's those little additional tools that let you do the little bit extra that you want to.
The book doesn't fit back in the shelf. Be fine.
You're breaking the set, John. Breaking the set can't take you anywhere, mate.
No, you can't.
No, cool little idea. Very cool little idea. Guys, tell you what, drop your comments in below. Have you used these? And if you have, actually post up some images of the effects you've managed to get with them, because I'm quite curious about what you can do with these.
Yeah.
I think we'll move on here. We will see you again for the next John's Tool.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsun Hub on beastsofwar.com.
And there we have it. John handling his tool in a nice fashion as always.
Yeah.
Sweet at that.
It's a very beautiful little
He was
tool.
punching away at that tool like it was no tomorrow.
Yeah, whenever he's taking a large book and trying to hammer through the damn thing, I thought that was going a little too far.
Boom, 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 boom!
Yeah, John, no, that you have to be gentle with your tool, my
What was
friend.
with the whole book anyway?
It was that crumpled paper, it wouldn't cut through, so he just thought, right, hell with this. Book, wow.
Oh, it was too hard, so he was trying to get it to go through.
Yeah, so he had to ram it in there, it just didn't work.
Right,
I
sweet.
mean, like, John, whenever you're working with your tool, mate, you have to be gentle with it.
I have to get a go on this.
Yeah, just gently now, gently, softly.
Yeah! That's cool.
Yeah, and then it makes perfect little ash leaves.
It does make perfect. I'm not going to show because you've seen it.
Yeah.
But Radagast has been...
He's been on about these.
He's been pestering me on the site. Not in a nasty way, in a nice way. He's
Lloyd,
like,
you have to try these.
Have you tried them, Lloyd? Have you tried the leaf punches yet, Lloyd? You're going to be in love with these leaf punches.
Yeah, I will give one piece of advice to all of our American brothers and sisters out there. Whenever you're doing this, be careful of which leaves you pick. Don't pick poison ivy, that could go horribly wrong.
Sprinkling it down all over my... Why are my fingers falling off?
No, you don't want to get poison ivy on your tool. That's never good.
No.
That's going to be itchy as hell.
That would be nasty. What would you use the leaf scatter for? Anyone got any ideas? I have an idea, right?
Yeah.
Skellies, obviously. Now, before I come up with the snow thing, I was originally thinking I'm going to do like dead leaves, as if they're like a Halloweeny deady army type thing.
Yeah, now if you're doing that, I would suggest take your leaf and let it die.
Like the real leaf and let it die.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is then it crumples up and it falls apart.
So long as you're gentle with it, you should be okay.
Do you think you could take a real leaf that has died and maybe coat it in PVA and let that soak in, and then you would get almost a plasticky dead leaf, and then you could punch
I
that?
reckon that would happen. I reckon that would work.
Ben, you think that's a good idea?
I think that would work. I think that could possibly, if you did it when it was still potentially still quite alive, and then used the PVA, that would probably work quite well. I think.
Again, then you're sealing it in, and then it maybe won't actually start to brown and die away.
Yeah.
If anybody's tried this,
because if the thing can't oxidize and there's no way for it to actually degrade. It might actually just stay that way.
I don't know. If anybody's painted a leaf with PVA, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Well, like I said, anybody who has done bases with this stuff,
Yeah.
you know, pictures in below. How would you use these? Because I mean, like, these come in all different shapes and sizes. You know, so you have big ones, little ones, pointy ones, long ones.
Well, I have one that's like a star-shaped punch at home. I was using it for making stars for my Soviets. I was punching out of paper and then using the paper as a template to paint my stars on.
See, this is the thing. I disagree with John about actually weathering down sheets of paper. I don't think it gives the right texture that a leaf gives you. Because whenever you punch it out of a leaf, you still have that little vein structure in it, which I think just looks nicer.
But it's so small. I was thinking like on paper and get like a Model Mates rust or some equivalent and rust the paper up and then punch that.
That's what he tried. He tried that.
And what happened?
It just looked too flat.
Okay.
You know, that's
we'll not
my
dwell
thinking,
on it. We'll not dwell on it.
Speaking of paper, you've got more sitting there.
We'll not dwell on it if he's tried it. But before we do move on, I do want to give a shout out to Radagast because he sent through for the hobby weekend an absolute bucket load. A whole box arrived full of palette paper for us.
Yeah, for everybody to paint on.
Which was sweet. We went through so much of it at the weekend.
Yeah.
When this box arrived from Radagast Workshop, I thought, oh, we're never going to need this amount.
That's a lifetime supply.
We did actually get through quite a lot.
Yeah.
So cheers for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, what is he? Radagast Workshop. What is it? Miniatureconversions.com or .blogspot.co.uk.
Yeah.
I think he does like a, what is it, like a, it's like a painting service or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, he does painting service and conversions. He's also got a few interviews and things on there as well with game developers and things. So, yeah, some interesting things to check out.
Yeah, sweet stuff. Right, I'm going to move us on because, like I keep saying, we have a jam-packed show. Justin, you had Andy Chambers.
Yes.
Was this via Skype?
No, he came for a visit.
In the studio?
He came for a visit.
Yeah.
You know, he sat me down. He took me through his new game, Warforged First Contact.
Yeah.
Great little game. Great little game. Basically, I wanted to sit down with him because the problem I always have with a lot of games is where is the jump-off point? How do I arrow my way into the storyline? So I got sat down for a nice long chat with Andy about how to get into the story, what's happening in the world, and who the players are.
Is this something that's coming to Kickstarter?
It is. It should be landing on Kickstarter next Monday, so keep your eyes peeled.
Right. Let's see what you guys had to say.
Hey everybody, as you can see, I am joined in the studio by Andy Chambers himself, one of the titans of the industry. And Andy, you have some news for us.
Yes, working on a new tabletop game with my old colleague Thomas Pirinen that we used to work with together back in Games Workshop back in the day. We're actually working on a digital game together, and we thought it would be tremendous fun if we could actually produce a tabletop title based on the lore and the imagery that we were creating for this digital game. And so we're working on it.
working on it. Well, I mean, we've had you in the studio today. You've ran me through the game, and it's called Warforged First Contact.
Yes.
So can you give us like a little synopsis of what this world is? What's going on?
In the universe of Warforged, two of the major factions that are part of it is the Authority and the Mantra. And Warforged First Contact is basically a game about their first contact with each other. Funnily enough. So it does exactly what it says on the tin. And we went for a sort of fairly classic sort of man versus monster, man versus alien game where the Iron Legion have discovered for the first time one of the Mantra shrine portals, as they're called, which they use to transport themselves between different realities. And the Iron Legion tries to take over the shrine portal, penetrate deep inside it, stamp all over it with their iron boots and so forth.
So this is that first moment of, wait, that's not meant to be here. Should we burn this? I think we should burn this. Guys, I think, we're going to burn this.
If in doubt, get in there and burn it. But it also represents a tremendous prize for the Authority as well, because if they can capture it, if they can take it over, then they'll gain access to that multitude of different realities that the Mantra already control, and prevent the Mantra from getting into their own reality.
Right, so this is perhaps the gateway into future games, expansions and stuff, maybe?
Yeah, in many ways, I say it's the setting for our broader universe. The digital game sort of takes place later when there is just what they call the Stasis Wars, which has been thousands of years, the Mantra and the Authority duking it out.
I see.
And this is their first time fighting each other, and the other factions will come in later on as well.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. You've given me some images. Let's actually start meeting some of the people that are going to start to populate this world.
Yeah.
So the first up is just some basic concept sketches, yes? So who are we seeing here?
These are some of our early concepts for the Iron Legion themselves. These are classic, heavily armored dudes. You know, you've seen this sort of thing going on lots of times before. We've tried to pick out imagery that makes them a little bit distinctive. The helmet design is something that I keep banging on about. Don't ruin the helmets, because we've gone for this very wedge-shaped ship's prow on the head. So it goes back to something very early on when we were talking about the digital game. I wanted to have a distinctive look, even when you look from above.
Yes.
For troops, because it's a classic thing. Actually, you know, most gamers, we get to see the backs of our miniatures and the heads.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, let's try and get at least a distinctive head design in there, and I wanted something that was kind of like anvil-shaped, wedge-shaped, something like that.
So something quite brutal.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm guessing this faction, even from the name, it doesn't sound subtle.
They're not subtle guys.
It sounds very much. We are here to kick ass, take names, and fight for our leaders.
Yes, yeah, fight for the authority, which kind of tells you all you need to know about them.
Now, we have some finished card artwork, I believe. So what are we seeing here?
This is an Iron Legionary rifleman from the Warforged First Contact game. I say we're looking at it a bit big here, to be honest, but this is card art. Basically, in the game, as you saw early on, you activate units by turning cards.
Yes.
So there's a card for each model in your force, and this is for your basic riflemen, of which you'll have a few of these guys. You know, they're your bread and butter.
Yeah. This is Bob with a gun.
Yep. Yep. And then we have specialist weapons that go on top of that.
Well, speaking of special weapons, we have another card art piece here for one of them. Who's this?
This is Legionary Brandfire. Basically, the projector he's got there, Brandfire projector. It fires a cloud of like aerosolized nanites, and what they do is they render down what they hit, like corrode it away into nothing very, very rapidly, at the same time producing masses of heat and masses of neurotoxins, because why wouldn't you?
Of course.
So when it hits something, it sets them on fire and it poisons them at the same time. Or, again, as we saw in our game earlier on, usually what it hits dies, and the hex they were in has got poison and burning in it.
Let's not go in there anymore.
Hey, just because I got to use one and you didn't.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Learning to play the game, friendly match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have some sculpts of these guys as well, I believe.
Yeah,
So
these are quite early 3D renders, so better work still to come on these. So yeah, the very, very early. Please don't pay attention to the bases, for example, because we're working on those and so on, and the posing needs some work and so on and so forth. But it gives you an idea of what these guys should look like. So you've got a basic couple of Legionaries riflemen, Brandfire guy at the end. The other guy there is a Ironstorm Legionary who gets the kind of minigun, what we've been calling a Blitzcan. But,
and then I believe we have them from the rear as well. I mean, I am liking the armor designs. It's nice and sci-fi, but it's not too sci-fi.
We wanted to try and hit that sweet spot of a bit of medieval knight in there, as ever. It's a classic, but also sci-fi. But we didn't want to do hard sci-fi, because this is very much a science fantasy kind of background. Backpacks. I love the work that's gone on here with the different distinct backpacks. Again, it's partially from a practicality sense. When you're looking at your miniatures, you need to be able to tell which ones are the Brandfire guys, which ones are the Ironstorm guys from the back. So, but I think they really add to them as well. Yeah,
it feels like like I said, a nice brutal faction, very straightforward. We are here to kill you. From that, I believe we have some final sort of concept design pieces here, yeah?
Well, these are from earlier in the process, and I thought it'd be interesting to see these broken down, because this is where the 3D sculpts have come from. Our early concept sketch. So this, again, is your basic rifleman, that symbol of the Legion over there, the Iron Star. As you can see on this one, and we haven't quite got the rendering right on the 3D models, because that skirty bit at the back, it's supposed to be Roman legionary-esque Tarujas, they're called, like strips of armour rather than cloth. But it gets to the same place, close enough.
Yeah, and then this is our guy with the bigger gun.
Yes.
And I see that you've got a head option here.
Yes.
I actually quite like it, because it's almost sort of World War II German-esque I'm sort of seeing here.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
We are actually using a different head design. We'll see it a little bit further on as a specific troop type, but I'm quite keen to keep those wedge-shaped heads for most of them. Also, just as a side note on the wonderful world of development, you'll notice that the gun had 4 barrels then, and we've cut that down to 3.
Let me call it up here. So,
So you see, 4-barreled.
Yeah. I like the one with 3 a little better.
Well, it's just one of the conceptual things of where do the bullets come out when it's full barreled? But so fun and games with that. So what have we got? We've got the Brandfire after this.
Yes, and it actually looks like a heavier trooper. The actual armor and everything feels.
We've clamped some extra plates onto his feet, around his legs, knees, and stuff in general, just to pump up the guy. I mean, these aren't heavy weapon troopers in that sense of the word, but they are a bit different. They are a bit more elite, is the idea. They give the heavy weapons to guys who are experienced and so on. And you can see here, again, we've experimented with alternate helmet designs, a different icon for the Iron Legion, which we might end up using in some places as well.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that because he is the fire trooper, he's got that bit of a symbology to denote him as a military symbol.
Yeah.
Now, onto rules for a moment. Now, you mentioned card decks. Are you really ready to talk about rules just yet, or do you want to maybe leave them for now in the ether?
No, I'm happy to talk about rules, because the rules are fairly developed. The point we're at now, we're mainly working on the scenarios to try and make sure that we've got a big selection of scenarios to go in the game. Although the game itself will work on like a card draw system if you want to randomize the scenarios too. So, but the rules themselves, we're pretty locked in on. It's now down to figuring out stats. We were saying in our game, maybe the core rules are a little bit too squidgy and stuff like that. Just playing around at that end of the equation, whereas the core mechanics of how things actually activate, how things fight, and so forth, we're there on that as far as I'm concerned.
This is what jumped out at me for the game whenever we played through, was that activation mechanic, because we've seen a lot of people recently going for like randomized or turnabout activations. Doing it the way you're doing it now, if you want to explain to everybody just how you're doing it very quickly, because I don't want to garble it.
That's okay. I touched on it earlier on, and the idea is that basically when you're playing a scenario, you have a card in the deck for every model that's in that scenario.
Yes.
Now, you might have some extra cards as well for events, things like a countdown timer if there's a limited number of turns in the scenario, reinforcements if there's more forces going to show up.
Yes.
But fundamentally, when a card flips, you get to activate something of that type.
Yes.
So you might have multiple rifleman cards, for example, in your deck, and when you flip it, any one of those riflemen could activate. Once it's had its go, you mark it as having had a go. But it gives you a lot more flexibility.
You see, I like the idea of it because it feels very different to, you know, drawing a random chit out of a bag or just saying, okay, let's roll off our initiative. You know, there's something to that just, it feels nice to actually just have a deck that you're going, who is it this time? Ah, it's you. Here you go.
It's very self-handling. As I mentioned to you during the game, I really tried to design this game so it'd be very, very quick to learn, very simple to play, the sort of thing that you could happily play in, you know, just in the course of a lunchtime.
Yep.
Or that you can teach your kids how to play it and not have them go, I don't understand, and so on and so forth. So I've tried to take as many mechanics as possible and actually build them into the game, so you don't have to worry about that. You know, you flip the card, oh, I get to use this now. You don't have to make an entire plan around it and so on and so forth. And likewise, the dice results handle a lot of the complexities of the game.
It was another thing to actually like was the fact that you have the 3 colors of dice. One set is good for attack, one's in the middle, one's great for defense.
Yep.
And depending on actually which dice you assign to each attribute can really change up how a unit's reacting.
Yeah.
So if I have the great defense dice on my attack stat, I'm kind of poor at attacking.
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. Just to clarify, it's not like those dice change, they are assigned on the card. It tells you what your ranged attack dice is, it tells you what your defense dice are. And yeah, just for me as a designer, that gives me a lot of tools to play around with, in that I can say, okay, you attack, you get a lot of dice, but they're blue dice, which are the defense dice. So actually your chances of doing anything are a bit chancy.
But once in a while you can actually be really heroic.
Yep, you'll pull off a massive result just because you're rolling so many dice and you just get lucky and so forth. But I say, it's let me sort of fine-tune the units a lot, just without even giving the different stats per se. Just the different dice that they roll will make them act very differently on the tabletop.
Very nice. Okay, let's meet our next faction. So I've got a little concept art here to begin with.
Yes.
So who is this?
This is the Mantra. I mentioned the Shrine Portal and the Authority discovering this Shrine Portal for the first time. The Mantra is a big threat. It's kind of the biggest threat that we could possibly imagine. And the idea behind the Mantra is that at the beginning of the universe, there was a perfect moment when everything was in harmony.
Okay.
Everything was together.
So just that moment of peace and
Peace
happiness
and harmony,
and love everywhere.
Garden of Eden, heaven, and so forth.
Yes.
But a few instances later, just the natural entropy and things fighting against one another shattered all of existence into multiple realities, billions of them.
Yes.
But there were some things within those realities that remember how it was, and they want it back.
Yeah.
They want to recreate the Garden of Eden. And they have formed what is known as the mantra, which is this immense, shall we say, expression of faith and belief in something greater than themselves, to the extent whereby it's almost like a psychic pulse that goes across the universe. And when the mantra hits your world, most worlds will go, the rapture has arrived. We have become enlightened. We have become closer to God. We will join the mantra and become everything with them. Some worlds don't do this. Sadly, the mantra has to destroy them because they're evidently not suitable for reintegration into all of reality.
Okay, so basically, if you're not something that can willingly join the mantra, you don't belong there. You're possibly something that created that fracturing in the beginning?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And hence you need to be destroyed for the greater good of the universe. With, many a tear in the eye and so forth, because nobody likes destruction and so forth. But that's what the mantra is about.
Okay, well, let's move into some of the unit card stuff that we have, because we have a few of these. So what are we seeing first here?
This is one of the higher ranked individuals in the mantra, which are called Deva, and they're one of the races which were suitable and joined the mantra, but they're not quite perfect.
Oh, right.
So they're commanders, they're leaders to a certain extent, but at the same time, they're to a certain extent they've been banished to have to fight. That is their fate, and to lead forces in this unfortunate, necessarily conflict that will occur from time to time. So the Deva have got a massive chip on their shoulder for not being good enough to go to heaven.
Yeah. Well, they've at least got some punching bags to take their frustration out.
Absolutely, and they are mean. They are certainly very mean, and they're these big angelic creatures. And part of the background idea for this is that this idea of winged angel-like creatures is something that's leaked into many consciousness and many different cultures and religions over the years. And it's based on this. It's based on the Deva.
I see.
Distant psychic emanations coming through.
Yes, very interesting. Okay, moving swiftly along to our next character. This one looks brutal.
These guys are brutal, yeah. These are descants. When the mantra takes over a race that's kind of... It's suitable for the mantra, but it lacks that level of perfection that the mantra requires. What they tend to do is mash several different races together.
Oh, right.
And kind of reconfigure them into a divine orthodoxy. These guys are ones that doesn't quite work out for either, and they come out a bit brutish. They still have their uses and so forth, but they're called descants, and they're kind of like heavy weapon troopers is probably the closest you could make a parallel to.
Well, if you see a guy running at you with 6 massive hulking arms,
fists, yes,
ready to smash you into the ground, sure. And if those fists just happen to be picking up a rock and throwing it at your head, that's going to hurt.
Yes.
Next up, we have another one of the unfortunates, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, these are corals. These are ones where that mashing together process worked a lot better. These are a lot closer to perfection in the mantra's eyes, and they sing the praises of the mantra continuously. They give voice their inner great song all the time. So they're all singing and chanting and so forth.
While they stab you in the throat.
While they stab you in the throat and swarm over you, hacking them to pieces to make you more suitable to be part of the mantra.
Well, it needs to be done. It's
that's right. Again, tragic necessity drives them.
I love the artwork style that we're seeing here. It's absolutely gorgeously done. I have to say that right now.
It's terrific,
It's giving a real flavour to the world. So it's
I'm really happy with the coral miniatures that are coming up in a little bit as well.
Well done to your artists.
Yeah, they've done a proud job on card art, and this has been done very fast as well.
Nice. Okay, so we have some of those earlier concepts for the miniatures now. So we have the coral first here, yes?
Yes. This is our development of the coral. It started creeping very much towards like a very evil-looking thing at one point. And I was quite keen to try and keep these as being quite majestic in their own way. They're not supposed to be evil critters, per se. Yeah, they're more like monks or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, whenever you see the artwork of them being very light, clean, glowing plates, even though it's something that generally, whenever you look at it black and white, that could look quite creepy. When you see the colour work done on it, it really brings it up.
Yes, it's true, actually. Yeah, if you painted that black and red, it would still look evil.
Oh, yeah, it would look evil as hell. Again, the colour palette that you paint stuff can really change the mood of a thing.
Yeah.
And then we have one of our big guys again.
Yeah, the descants.
Has he got 3 heads?
Yes, they have. Because I say they're individuals who have been mashed together.
I see.
And it didn't quite take on them quite so well, so they end up breed. The word descant, by the way, it contrasts with choral. It's specifically someone who makes a different tone to the main choir.
Oh, I see. And then this is...
this is Diva, great angelic leader types. Been experimenting with different weaponry for them. We'll probably do some variants that have spears and 2 swords and a sword and a shield and so forth.
Well, I love the hooked head on the spear, so having that doubled up might look very nice. Again, that's just me winding out here. And then next up, we have one that we haven't seen before. So what is this big beastie?
Oh, this guy. This is Angra. One of the things about Warforged First Contact is that the heroes are a big part of it. The Authority has its heroes. They're called the Awoken, and they're guys that have basically managed to fully integrate into the technology and got all superhuman powers out of it.
Lovely.
They are superheroes.
Lovely.
And the Mantra on their side has also got individuals that are almost a personification of the Mantra. They have taken it into their very soul, and their soul is part of it. And they, again, lead forces into battle and guide them. They have special powers and so forth. Angra here is like the first among a race that was suitable to join the Mantra without being changed, called Ganth, who were the big elephant-headed guys, again. Parts of that psychic imagery
we're
reached
seeing
through to our own world.
Of the religions of Earth. Yeah,
yes.
That's very cool.
And Angra is even for them, he's a mutant. He is actually triple-headed. Can't tell too well here. And he does have enormous cannons on him, which what goes on those circles around there. That's what that.
I'm looking forward to seeing the sculpt for this one when we eventually get to see it.
He'll be a big dude.
Nice. And then we see the actual sculpt for the corals.
These are corals, yeah.
And it does look very majestic in this, you know. And like you said, you've kept that monk-like feel to it, while still keeping it as a brutal war machine.
Yeah, I like these a lot. Ninja Division's done a fantastic job with these. I do have worries about how they'll actually manufacture them, but we'll see.
Again, it's one of those things. You can only work from where you are.
Yeah.
If there's problems, work through them. Okay, next up we have a 3D render for...
This is for the Descan.
Yes.
Needs some work, this one. One of my least favourite things about this is foot off the ground. That drives me mad because it robs him of his weight. Yeah. So we're working on that, get the foot back down on the ground. But you generally get the impression of it. It's that big Hulk smash look for them.
Yeah, it looks as if he's ready just to put you into a bear hug and slam down into your head while he's at it. And then I think I have another one of the corals here.
Yes.
Seeing a few different angles of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the work that's actually done on having the robes and stuff look as if they're flowing around, very, very nicely done.
Yeah.
And again, it's a battle pose without being the very old school knife and fork pose that we used to get a lot. This actually feels like a flowing combat.
I like that knife and fork pose. Yeah, the idea with these guys is they're really quick. You know, they could run on the ceilings, basically.
Yeah, nice. And then lastly, I think I have another 3D render set. Oh, yes!
Yeah, here we go. So this is Angra, a coral, and a Descant, which gives you an idea of the relative scale between them. Descant's very big, Angra very big, coral quite small, and so on. But even the coral, I think, is about the same size as an Iron Legionary. So.
Yeah, although the Descant, I do agree with what you're saying here. The actual posing with the foot lifted off the ground, he doesn't exactly feel like
he doesn't feel heavy, does he?
Yeah,
and that's one of the things with it. You know, is he tripping over or what? And
yeah,
so
is
forth.
he ready to leap forward and smash someone? Yeah. Do I expect this creature to be fit to do that, or do I expect it to be down, hunched forward, maybe 2 of the back arms on the ground?
Well, this is one of the things that the Descants are actually quite lumbering. They're quite slow as well, especially in comparison to the corals.
Yeah.
So this is all part of the glorious nature of developing games. Is we'll keep working with that and get it a little bit better.
But with it being 3D renders, you know, it's easier to change those a little bit than it is for a traditional sculpt. So.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, last thing we have is a beautiful piece of artwork. This is the first thing I saw for this, and it really captured my imagination.
Awesome. This is work in progress, I should say. It's from Neil Roberts. You might run across doing a lot of covers in other places and so forth. And yeah, this is the Iron Legion hero that we'll have in the game, Kara, who's a leader of one of the Iron Legions. She's one of the Awoken. Yeah,
she's kind of got that sort of Joan of Arc feel to her.
That's very much the inspiration for Kara is Joan of Arc. I'll be honest. And we wanted to, you know, get some nice, strong female characters in there as well.
Yeah, the armor design is beautiful. She feels like a very high up leader, very decorated. you know, with all the little extras, frills, and inlays in the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nicely done. And seeing the masses of her troops behind her ready for war, brilliant. Fantastic piece.
Yeah, I particularly love the way he's done the diva actually up in the corner there with Angra. And just the fact that he's fractured the colour palette around it, which is very much a lot of the idea of the power for these heroes is that they draw on the power from between the shard realities. It's called fracture space.
I see.
So that fact that it's almost breaking through, I really love about that.
Well, I have to say, I cannot wait to get this down on the tabletop and have it ready to actually show everyone how it plays, because from what I've seen today, this is going to be a great little game. It's definitely one for everybody out there at home to keep an eye out on, because if you want something that you and your mates can very quickly pick up, very quickly get into, something you can share with your family, or if you're, say, even between a game and you just want something light to pick up and lay down on the table and have some fun with, this is going to be great for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Warforged First Contact game is our first step into a new universe. So it's not the huge battle game that perhaps some people would look forward to. That will come later, assuming this goes down well and so forth. This is our first introduction, so it's only the beginning.
But for a first look into it, really nice. I really, really like it. So,
terrific.
everybody, get your comments in below. What do you think of the style of what we're seeing so far? Do you like what you're hearing so far? And are you looking forward to seeing a new game from Andy here? We'll move on here. We'll see you another time.
From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com.
Interesting stuff. Look out for that in Kickstarter, but we've actually got some miniatures in now.
Yeah, so whenever Andy was coming across, there was actually a little bit of a faux pas. So we got all the game pieces, we didn't get the miniatures. So we had to use some stand-ins whenever I was having my demo games. But since then, they have arrived, and I want to show them off because they are really, really cool.
They are pretty sweet looking. Check these out. Here we go. There's like a little group of them, but what do you see when we get in nice and close? Look at this guy! Imagine what you could do if you had that many hands.
Paint more?
Paint more! Oh my gosh! If I had 6 hands, the amount of stuff that I could paint.
The good thing is he's got 3 heads, so he can keep an eye on each miniature.
Does he have 3? Oh my goodness, he does have 3 heads.
So he is a discount.
Yeah.
And I still agree with Andy. He was talking about the actual artwork and the actual sculpt, because we looked at the 3D sculpt whenever he was in.
Okay.
It doesn't look planted enough. You know, the actual pose, I expect him to be lower down, hulking, ready to bull forward and actually punch somebody. He looks a little bit too light on his feet for such a big guy in this pose.
But he's doing that whole lean back, me smashy smashy moment.
Possibly.
What's this guy called?
A discount.
A discount.
Yes. So he's from the alien faction, which is the Mantra.
Yeah. And we have another one from the Mantra here.
So that is a Coral. Not Coral from Walking Dead. So they're basically the little line infantry guys. Very spiky, very fast, and quite nasty when they get into combat.
Yeah. Very scary looking.
Yeah.
Well, again, 1, 2, 3, 6 arms. Is this like the theme?
Kind of. I mean, like, there's some very different alien races within the Mantra, because it's sort of going through so many different realities, amalgamating all different kinds of alien races. So there could be anything in there.
Ooh.
You know.
And then who's this guy? These guys in green.
The guys in green. Now, just let me make sure I get the name correct here. So the human forces are the Iron Legion, right?
Uh-huh.
So going left to right on the screen, our first one.
Left to right. So what, we're starting here?
Yep. Ironstorm Legionary. So he's essentially running around with a minigun. Yeah, then you've got the Brandfire Legionary in the middle, essentially rocking around with a high-tech flamethrower. And the Legionary Rifleman, which is your everyday poor guy who's just been handed a gun and said, "You are going to war, my friend."
He doesn't look that poor. He's got some epic-looking armor.
I suppose. I mean, like, the Iron Legion are actually quite the highly trained force within the world, from what I can gather, and from what Andy was telling me. But the sculpt turned out really well.
They've been talking a little bit about some of the background and stuff, a selection of these characters on social media, and obviously we talked about it there as well with Andy. But one of the things I really liked about the Iron Legion was that guy you were talking about, the Rifleman, his character that's been sort of made up for him on Facebook and stuff. He actually carries around an ancient antique gladius from the Roman times that's been reinforced with like new age metals, so that he can use it in combat, which is very, very cool.
Oh, so hang on, he's went from heavy metal to new metal? No.
Yes.
He's got a hippie gun.
There's a bit of Limp Bizkit in there somewhere.
Never mind that joke. It's going whoosh right over your head.
Of course, like most things, which is why I'm bald. Just skims the top.
Anyway, exciting stuff. If you're interested, I think the Kickstarter's on Monday.
It should be landing
Should be.
on Monday. I am wanting to get a game of this on the go though, because now we have miniatures, we have rules.
Is this all the miniatures we need?
Well, I have a few more that I haven't brought in because you have duplicates. Okay, but we have everything we need to play. I'm speaking to Andy at the moment to see about getting a scenario done up for us.
Okay.
I got a first draft through there, and I actually got a little surprise. One of the legionary riflemen is named Macaulay.
Is there a Johnston in here somewhere as well?
No. There's a Macaulay in there.
No Johnston.
No Johnson.
Jeez.
There is a Macaulay, and I'm sitting there going, did he really just do that, or is this just coinky dink? We'll have to find out, but it's very cool, and I am looking forward to actually showing off how the mechanics of the game work because it's a very fast-paced little game. It does seem like a lot of fun.
Coinky dink.
Coinky dink, yeah. You've never heard the word coinky dink?
No, not really. Not since it was like that height.
Constable, do you use the word?
Coinky dink.
Coinky dink, yeah.
I'm not 5, Justin. Not 5. I may act it, but I'm not 5. Right. Anyway, speaking of Kickstarters,
yes,
I'm gonna move us on because we big show. Keep going. Black Scorpion's Tombstone is looking cool, Ben.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the this is the big Kickstarter from Black Scorpion. You will know them as the guys that did Cutlass a couple of years ago, but they're back now with their 32mm skirmish level Wild West Gangs style game that you play out on the tabletop with some very, very cool looking miniatures. It carries over a lot of the different sort of rules mechanics that we saw in Cutlass. So all the stats are based on dice values. So you've got D6s, D6s, D3s, D10s, D12s, blah 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 blah. But it's one of those mechanics that allows for an interesting sort of degree of success where the guy with the D12, as he's shooting or whatever, he's definitely going to be a really good shot. But there's always the chance that someone might be slightly better at him with a D4 and stuff. So it adds that sort of nice heroic edge to things, which is really, really cool. And something that we loved in Cutlass and stuff. But yeah, he's back up here now with these new set of gangs and some fantastic looking new miniatures that have sort of gone through a little bit of a reinvention from the metals that people would have seen in the past from this guy. But yeah, we've got some fantastic stuff. We've got lawmen, outlaws, natives, 7th Cavalry. There's some Mexicans in there. And then if you want to go down the sort of route of a little bit more of the weird Wild West, they've also done an undead gang as well with some skeleton gunfighters, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. If you keep on scrolling down, Justin, you'll come to there's an undead set right at the bottom.
Oh no, that's the outlaws.
I'll keep going till you get to the right to the bottom to the undead pack 3.
Oh, they're doing Mexicans.
Well, we'll scan
back. On a donkey.
We'll scan back through these in a second. But just when you mention the undead things, now when I originally seen the undead pop up, and I thought, well, really, do we need undead?
Yeah.
And then Ben goes, no, wait.
You need this.
Wait till you see pack 3.
You need undead.
Yeah. So that's what pops up in the video, and then Ben goes, no, wait till you see pack 3. Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going down to pack 3. Keep going. There you go. Click that. You can click these to make them bigger. Oh,
that's really cool.
Oh, you see?
It's got a real Ghost Rider feel to it.
Yeah, no, I see.
Like it.
Ghost.
Yep.
As soon as you said that, because there was people painting the skellies in that sort of ghostly spectral scheme at the weekend. I didn't do mine in that. I had contemplated doing that, but those guys. See, now for me, I was thinking, oh, okay, if I was going to put the undead into this game, I would definitely do it in a spectral undead thing, not like literal walking skeletons, but more like ghosts and skeletons and stuff, because I think that would fit in with the whole cowboy sort of, that they're ghosts.
That's one of the good things about the undead set that they've done for this, is that it doesn't necessarily just have the standard sort of skeleton gunfighters that we're seeing there. There's also a couple of different ones thrown in there as well. So you've got a little bit of the Cthulhu thing in there with the guy with the tentacle. You've got the undead priest, as you say, as well. They've also stretched it out over the other different factions. So you've got them, so you could drop them into different sets. And depending on who your opponents are playing, so potentially if you've got a guy that's playing as the natives, you could use that guy as one of the guys that's been captured and risen back from the dead by your faction potentially. Very, very cool. So.
I do like it, and I like the guy on the mount. That looks cool. I can see him tearing right through your town, blowing heads off as he goes. Really scary ghosts.
I like the look of the 7th Cavalry from this set, though. Yeah. This is the military of this era.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take nothing away from the actual alive people in this game too. They're really sweet miniatures.
Yeah, and then their leader kind of has that Colonel Custer look to him.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the other things I really liked about this as well is that, I mean, they've done all these factions that have a lot of guys in them, but they've also done a selection of female gunslingers too that you can add into all the different factions. So if you prefer to have a little bit of a mix, or maybe you want to do a completely full female gang instead, you can pick up some of their female gunslingers, slip them into the different sets, and go away with some cool characters and some interesting narrative stuff as well at the same time, which is very cool. Speaking of narrative as well, this also has a full campaign system added onto it. So it's not just a game where you're going to be playing one-off games. This is going to be one where the gangs are going to grow and evolve over time. You'll tell stories about your Wild West adventures and stuff at the tabletop. And of course, there's a whole bunch of terrain out there nowadays that you can go pick up for the Wild West by the likes of Foreground and stuff like that. So loads and loads of interesting things to do with Wild West at the moment.
With this being 32 mil, do you have then the possibility of mixing and matching that in with the Wild West Exodus stuff?
I think this stuff is sort of on the smaller end of 32 mil. It's effectively what you'd call 28 mil, but like 28 mil heroic, effectively.
Yeah.
So it is 32 mil, but it's also perfectly all right for 28. I think the stuff from Wild West Exodus might be a little bit bigger, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because one of the things I think is lacking in the likes of Wild West Exodus is maybe a few more miniatures that just look a bit more regular. Do you know what I mean?
See,
that maybe you could mix and match.
It's the one thing these guys do really, really well is their miniatures have a great character and individuality about them, which always it makes me feel more that this is a character, not just a rank and file foot soldier from a warband or something.
Yeah.
So I mean that's one of the key things with each of these different sets is that each of the troops you see there effectively are individual sculpts. There's no repeats, as Justin was saying. So you could effectively, if you didn't particularly like the leader of the faction as they present it, just use one of those guys as your leader and make it up as you go along and stuff. So it'd be really interesting to see what they do in terms of expanding this as well, because each of the different gangs, effectively you only use between 6 and 8 models per game. So this will allow you a lot more scope, and if they bring out more models in the future, you can start to swap guys in, and when guys die, bring in an entirely new character rather than just rehashing one of the guys that you've already painted up as well. So could be really cool.
Absolutely. If you've been watching Hell on Wheels, this could be the stuff for you. As I've been watching it, I'm thinking, yeah, I could pick some of this up. I could go for some more realistic-y Western shooting.
Well, you see, this is the thing. I remember years and years ago, we actually did our Cutlass Week. So we actually looked through the game, saw how it played, and had some fun with it.
Yeah.
Doing it in the Old West again, this could be really, really fun, because how many people like sitting down to watch a spaghetti Western or something?
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, having something like that on the tabletop that actually lets you tell your stories in the Old West, lots of fun. And there's tons of terrain out there that you guys can pick up and actually build some epic tables with as well.
We all have to learn to screw our faces up like this.
You feel lucky.
You feel lucky, punk. Do ya?
I wish I had a cigar right now.
Right, what's next, Ben? 7th guest board game.
Yeah, so
okay, what's this?
So this is something that's a little bit different. It's also a little bit quirky and a little bit weird as well. But this is by a company called Trilobite Games, and they've designed a board game based on the popular retro puzzle game from, it must have been the 80s or the 90s, I think it was. I don't know whether or not you guys remember this game at all.
Nope.
No, yeah, okay. Well, it was effectively a point-and-click adventure game where you had to try and work your way around a house solving puzzles, and then eventually get to the very end of it and solve the final one to escape there, rather than being one of the trapped guests that exist in this place. And the board game effectively tries to carry that over into the tabletop. Yeah. So you'll be going around as the individual characters. It plays between 1 and 6 players, and you'll be moving from room to room and trying to solve cryptic puzzles, riddles, all sorts of different things. A lot of people have been saying that, isn't it going to get really sort of bland once you've played it maybe 1 or 2 times? But there are over 300 puzzles that they've worked into this, so that you can cycle through things a lot quicker and allow you to have a little bit more variety as you go through it individual times and try out different techniques and different puzzles and stuff. So
bland?
Yeah.
How could it possibly be bland when you can play as a transparent granny?
Exactly.
Watch the video. It's full of weird transparent people.
Honestly, for people who like puzzle games and actually solving puzzles with their mates, this could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean,
that's where I see the fun in this one.
That's the key thing. I mean, it's really drawing on that really old school retro feel that the game had. It was one of those FMV games, so it had all the really bad.
Oh, is this why the video looks all weird and crap?
Yeah,
on purpose. I was watching it going, transparent person, transparent granny.
Yeah.
This video is full of it all, weird stuff. They're doing that on purpose.
Yeah. As I say, it's all based on that retro game. So if you really, really enjoyed the Seventh Guest, this could be a fantastic nostalgia trip for you, I think. So.
Yeah. But I wasn't. This makes a lot more sense because I was sitting watching the video going, why have they done this? Why is it so corny? Now I see why.
For me, my vote has to go to Tombstone. I love the work that Black Scorpion does. Sorry, guys. That's where my head's at this week.
You don't want the transparent granny?
No, I want a full gang of undead skeletons rocking into Tombstone or something to mess with the Earp brothers.
Damn. We're all looking at these undead skellies now.
Well, that or the Seventh Cav.
I quite liked the Mexicans. Despite what anybody says, cool. I thought they looked quite good.
They are quite cool. And I love that one add-on where it's just the big Mexican on a donkey.
See?
You know, it's an old trope, but it's fun.
Some people thought that's a bit cliched, but I think that's the whole point of it. It was supposed to be cliched.
Yeah. Is it cliche if it's meant to be cliche? Or is it going to be a cliche for the cliche?
It's meant to sort of represent the Hollywood version of the Wild West kind of thing. So it'll be really it's a little bit of a fantastical license on the historical. So, you know, give it a little bit of leeway. It's got a bit of character and a bit of comedy to it at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, if we're going to pick, I'm probably going to lean towards the Tombstone as well. I wasn't... Like I said, when I first seen the skeleton, I thought, oh, do we need undead in this? Yeah, but you don't have to play undead. I mean, they're not literally in the rulebook, are they?
No.
It's just sort of an alternative gang type thing, isn't
it? They're a gang that's in there. They don't have to be part of whatever you're doing. You can just completely cut them out and have it as a proper historical game if you wanted to.
Yeah, what I mean, yeah. So what I mean is the story of the game doesn't go all sort of weird all of a sudden.
No.
So it's straight up, and then you can throw those in for a bit of a flavor.
Do you want to go halfers?
I could maybe be tempted into that because I think they'd be a joy to paint, and there's not too many of them because I don't like painting too many models, as people can see.
The starter sets that you're going to pick up on the Kickstarter, there's about 15 models in each.
15.
But you only play with
your mounted hero, or your mounted leader, your unmounted leader, your deputy, and then 3 more packs of 3, which makes 15.
But you only play with between 6 and 8 models, so you choose some of these that you want to use effectively, and you only have to concentrate on them until maybe those guys die or something. So it's not too many models in the grand scheme of things.
That and it gives us an excuse to actually try building a Wild West table.
Well, I could be tempted into that because we have a lot of Wild West terrain sitting there.
All right, well, sure,
It'd
we'll
be nice to crack it out once more. Get a look at it. What faction though, Justin? You see, now I want the undead skellies, but I also want like a proper faction who are not dead too.
Yeah. I would say if we're doing it, I would be tempted to grab the lawmen if you want to maybe grab the outlaws or the Mexicans.
Yeah, probably be one of those two, and then the skellies.
And then
can the skellies be like a? Well, we'll talk about this later.
There's a place that allows you just to pick up a faction on its own.
There we go. That's the one.
And then there's another place that let you get 2 and the rules.
I want 2 in the rules and in this faction too.
All right, so you want 3 factions overall?
No. You get 1 faction, and I get 1 faction. We go halfers.
All right, and then you'll jump in and get your own one?
And then I think I might get the skellies as well.
All right, cool.
Just to have the spectrals.
All right, cool.
Because I just think they're really cool. Anyway, Ben, are you tickled by either of these?
As much as I would love to go back to the 7th Guest on the tabletop, I think I could probably just play the PC game. So I genuinely think that Black Scorpion's Tombstone is going to be a pretty big hit. I love the sculpts that these guys have been working on, and maybe I'll have to sort of join you guys on this one potentially. So
there you go. Good sculpts versus transparent grannies. Good sculpts seems to have wins. Funnily enough,
retro versus Old West. Old West wins.
Old West wins. And on that note, we will end the show. If you've been enjoying the show, come on over to Backstage. Come on over to Beast of War and join Backstage. We have another show just like this. It goes out on Sundays. We talk about all sorts of gaming stuff again and what we've been up to hobby-wise. It'd be great to see you there if you haven't been there before. So, yeah. Until next weekend, have a great weekend's gaming.
Or we will see you tomorrow morning.
That too.
I have the power! Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastsofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.